Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Range Rover Evoque, the second generation model, and straight away we are going to be opening the engine bay of this Land Rover. And as you can see, it's a compact engine bay. Somehow it says Ingenium right there. Yeah, it's quite compact. Meanwhile, this is very smartly done, for the air intake. Actually, it pulls air from here, which comes from the grill. Very neatly done indeed. Okay, let's close this for a moment. And of course, it looks like a Velar. Yeah, it actually looks like a baby Range Rover Velar, the new Evoque, which is kind of striking indeed. But this grille is smaller than the Velar, and over here you've got an slat as well, which is not there in the case of the Velar. That's how both the cars actually differentiate. It says Range Rover, clamshell bonnet, Land Rover badging right there, and of course the typical Land Rover grille as well. Now we've got front parking sensors. And yeah, this is actually functional. This is not a fake vent, pretty functional. You can see that, yeah, it's functional vent. It's got headlight washers as well. The headlights look really beautiful. Again, very similar to the Velar. Yeah, this is actually the LED treatment for the DRL, and which also doubles up as the indicator, which swipes from the inside to the outside. Looks really nice. The lights are very slim but quite powerful at night. I love the way the swiping happens, and you see the finishing is just very good indeed. So car looks really very dope, but it's quite compact. In fact, the fog lamp is placed really low down. Meanwhile, you've got the parking sensors here as well. So kind of giving you 360-degree parking, but not really. Coming to the side, you realize that this car is kind of on the smaller size. It's really very chintu for the price. And the roof line is sloping. This line below the window is actually rising. Gives it a very distinct look on the road. And the car is a little dirty, pardon me for that, because I've been driving it all over the place. You see the lights merge here, and the continuation of the treatment is so beautifully done. Now the tire size is actually 235/60/18s. However, the design of the wheels isn't that attractive, unfortunately. Land Rover could have done a much better job in terms of wheel design. This just looks too plain and basic right now. You might think it's attractive. That's largely because it has dust over it, and yeah, lot of dust on it because I've been just driving it off-road. Anyways, you see it gets this dual tone treatment. I love the way they've played with colors. Obviously gloss black finishing on the pillars as well, ABC, along with the roof too, which is gloss black finish, along with the shark fin antenna too. Meanwhile, here is a projector which projects the Evoque's design outline on the road at night, although it's not very clearly visible somehow. Indicators on the outside rear view mirrors as well. Now the door handles are super cool on this car. First and foremost, let me shut them. Okay, whenever you unlock the car, obviously the outside rear view mirror is also open, and so does the door handle, which comes outside. Okay, when you press it once, it only opens the driver door, not the other doors, so you have to press it twice, and there it opens. It's super duper cool. Look at it. This treatment is amazing. I just love the way this has been done. Just look at it, the way it opens. This is again giving you the Velar vibes. So design wise, yes, they have nailed it once again with the Range Rover Evoque. Okay, let's see what's here. Of course, that is to fill diesel in the car, and this is a dummy slot. I think this opens, maybe not, for the AdBlue. Anyways, coming to the rear of the car, you realize that the Velar treatment has been carried forward here as well. The lights look really beautiful. Okay, you got this skid plate treatment just to reduce the visual bulk. Rear parking sensors, Land Rover badging right there. The lights are amazing. Just look at the lights, they look beautiful. Now of course, this is the brake light, which also doubles up as the indicator, which swipes from the inside to the outside. Please tell me one car whose indicators, rather the lights, are better than the one on the Evoque. I honestly can't say that because it's just so mind-blowing. And here is actually the reflector. Meanwhile, doesn't have any exhaust on the outside, but it actually gets dual exhaust. Yup, the functional ones. Here you can see one of the exhausts, and the other one is actually on the other side. So yes, no fake exhaust business by Land Rover, which is absolutely good. No, absolutely phenomenal would be the word. You can see the underbody of the car. Looks quite nice. Meanwhile, the reverse parking camera is placed right here. You see it's dirty, but the good thing is this thing actually sprays on the camera to clean it. That's also really very cool. And you've got Range Rover boldly written on a piano black background. In fact, this piano black finishing runs from one light to another, and it's a rear spoiler too, which also looks nice because there's also a light there for the rear spoiler, on the rear spoiler that is. You can see the roof of the car. I mean, they've played so well with colors. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, this is the mud flap of the car, and every time I come to the side I realize it's so sporty looking, this car, yet it's small. Okay, let's open the doors. Yeah, second time, there the door handles pop out. Anyways, let's open the boot of the vehicle, and I can open it by pressing a button on the key itself. Now the boot is decent size. However, the spare wheel isn't an alloy. The spare wheel is actually a smaller size tire. 155/85/18 is the size of the tire. Well, of course, it's a space saver. Usually Range Rover and Land Rover don't do all this. Actually, Land Rover does not do that on Range Rovers. There's storage space here, there's a light placement here, there's a light placement here as well. And of course, there's a 12-volt charging socket as well. There's a hook here, which is there on the other side too. Yep, twin hooks. And in case you want to increase the boot carrying capacity, be my guest, you can recline the seats in 60/40 split, which I'll show you in a bit. Press this button and there the boot closes. Alrighty, let's get inside. So first things first, let me tell you that this is a compact car, so don't expect much space, and it doesn't really offer much space either. Okay, this is spacious enough, the door pockets, and yeah, quality levels are pretty nice. The finishing is very well done on this car, feels really amazing. But you know what, there's not much space on offer. Firstly, the cabin isn't wide enough, so 3 people cannot sit in comfortably. You obviously get ISOFIX child seat mounts, and because the cabin is all black, it's not really airy as such. However, okay, the seats are very comfortable indeed, although they lack in terms of, yeah, you can see that under thigh support is poor. Legroom and new room is just about decent. There is a USB socket here. In fact, if you want to put a screen or something, that's why you get all these slots here to actually put a screen. Meanwhile, these are the rear AC vents, and it says Evoque here just in case the rear passengers forget which car they are sitting in right away. Anyways, there is a USB on either side. Yeah, twin USBs and a 12-volt charging socket as well. So many USBs at the rear. This is absolutely crazy. This can power my house. That's the amount of USBs. The seat is absolutely comfortable. The recline angle is also very nice. Good amount of bolstering. Only thing is under thigh support is poor. Headroom is just about, actually it's good enough even for someone of my height, because they've reclined the seat, although the roofline is sloping. They've reclined the seat properly just in case headroom is, just so that the headroom is good. However, the problem is that the seat position is such that under thigh support is kind of on the poor side in this vehicle. Now, there is a light placement here because the door is open. Obviously the light is on. Airbag, obviously light airbag, but there is no handle to hold on to, and the windows are also on the smaller side. Meanwhile, you've got 3 adjustable headrests at the rear. You also get a center armrest with 3 cup holders, 2.5 cup holders actually, and armrest is actually big enough, but 3 people cannot sit in because little bit of hump here, not really wide, so best for 2 people actually. Meanwhile, you see the finishing is really well done. I love it. The dashboard will remind you of the Range Rover Velar again, and looks very nice and sporty. In fact, you know, they've played well with colors on this car. There's a hook here if you want to hang your coat or something of that sort. Meanwhile, you see this thing actually will light up when you're opening a door and someone is next to you, so that you don't bang open the door in front of a car and that car takes away the door and just moves away. So this is another very interesting feature in this car, which actually is there with the flagship Range Rover and other Range Rovers as well, but not really available in India, sort of optional. Now let's recline this seat to see how much you can increase the boot carrying capacity. Well, of course you can a lot, but this doesn't go flat as such. Okay, now if I have to put this back, I have to pull the seat belt, otherwise what will happen now, this will not shut. The one issue I'm facing with this car is the seats are really very heavy, so you need some effort to put in and out. Okay, that didn't sound right. But more than that, you really need effort to close and open the doors, because the doors are really very hard. I mean, they're heavy. Okay, in fact, no effort needed, and it can shut the door as well. That's how heavy the doors are of this vehicle. So sometimes you do struggle. You see this line? Yeah, meeting the tail light, of course, and it's going here below the door handles, continuing all the way, and they end up here. A lot of design treatment on this car. Now this is actually the information given here. A lot of information everywhere, not that we care about it much, but you see these are the sensors. Now of course it's got automatic headlights, it's got automatic wipers, it's got all that and more. Let's straight away get inside. And let me tell you that the cabin feels stupendous. Firstly, the door pockets at the front are even bigger. I mean, they are really very deep. And these are obviously controls for the power windows. These are obviously the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment. Again, this I was telling you, the blind spot monitor for the door, and this is to lock or unlock the door. Meanwhile, this is for child lock, which not only child locks the window, but also child locks the doors of the car. That's really nice. But you know, because it's a Range Rover, it should have been placed here, all these switches. That would have been really nice. Now you get multiple way, I think 10-way adjustable driver's seat, electric adjust, and obviously for the co-driver also it's a 10-way adjust, I believe. Meanwhile, that is a proper dead pedal. This is to open the hood of the vehicle. This is, I think, for the headlight leveler. This is to open the boot of the car, and this is the electric parking brake of the vehicle. It says Range Rover right here, just in case when you're getting inside the car you forget which is the car. And of course, the dashboard is so sexy. It looks very nice, but the seats are very comfy and nice. I love the seats on the car. Now you might be wondering, why is this open half? Well, it automatically decides it wants to open half or full, because when you lock the car, okay, let's just close the car right now, okay, and I'm going to just lock it. Obviously the door handles go inside. It also closes that blind on the inside. It does it automatically so that you never ever leave it open, and if you leave it open, obviously the car can heat up. But you know, you see the tints on the glass, it's there on the inside as well. Okay, let's get inside. Oh my god, the seats are super comfortable. The steering wheel is adjustable both for height as well. Okay, you saw that. Okay, it's adjustable both ways, reach and rake. Let's just lock it in its place, turn off the indicators and turn on the vehicle. This is the engine start stop button, and there it does a full swipe up, rose to life, and as soon as I turn on the car, the sun blind is also going back. Now you see there is a massive center console. It's really big in terms of size. It says full service required in 19 days. It keeps giving me these warnings all the time. Washer fluid is low, and it's also going to tell me that tire pressure is low in some of the tires, because obviously it gets a tire pressure monitoring system. It tells you exactly which seatbelt has not been fastened, but we'll come to that in a bit. Let's turn off the air conditioning. So I think I've already explained everything in the Discovery Sport vlog, but we still go over it again. You see, the glove box is big enough that I can even put my motor beam cap inside comfortably. It got this velvet finish too, which is really premium. And here are two armrests. Yeah, front center armrests, because they open independently, and there is storage space on the inside. Now it's got two USBs, one micro SIM, and a 12-volt charging socket as well. So Land Rover always goes crazy when it comes to putting a lot of these sockets. And here you can keep your phone, but you know what? Open it, and there are twin cup holders along with another 12-volt charging socket. There's so many of them in this car. It's absolutely crazy how functional it is. Does this slide forward? No, it does not slide. There is no sliding mechanism. However, this area occupies a lot of space, the gear lever area. That's really, a lot of space has been occupied, unfortunately. The rotary dial was really very cool because it used to rise up and looks really beautiful. And I'm talking about certain Jaguar Land Rover cars which had it and should have been there in this Evoque as well. Meanwhile, you might be wondering, why is there no storage space? There is actually a secret compartment below a la Honda Civic. You see, there is actually storage space here, yeah, and there's storage space here as well. Now this is obviously very inconvenient because not easy to access. And again, something will remind you of the Tata Harrier, which I'll come to in a bit. You can actually keep stuff here, maybe the keys or something. The thing is that the center console is really so wide now that your leg actually fouls with the center console, so not really comfortable in that sense. Now, this is not the top variant, this is a lower variant, that's why it misses out on 4 screens. Yeah, you can get 4 screens. So this is obviously a screen. There's a screen here as well on the higher trim, and this also gets a full digital cluster in the higher trim. You can get a heads-up display, which is your 4th screen, and you can get a rear side camera too. Yeah, over here. That's super cool. Okay, light placement is here. You just touch them and they get activated. This is very coolly done on this car. I like it. SOS button, you can open it and you need to press it for SOS, I believe. Same is the case here as well. This is for roadside assistance. There is a sunglass holder here, and there is a mirror here along with a light. Same is the case on the driver side as well. There is a mirror along with a light. Now, really premium stuff inside this car. Looks really nice. You will see the dashboard design. Soft touch materials and the layering, even the metal finish along with the chrome outline is super duper awesome, and it's got obviously piano black finishing on the inside here too. So that's the reason why it looks really premium. This is also finished in sort of, you know, chrome, but global models are not getting this. I don't know why. I think the top trim gets like a better system, better infotainment system, which also can go ahead or behind, like in the case of the Velar. Meanwhile, this is again finished in piano black. You see, this touchscreen infotainment system is a fingerprint magnet. Okay, if I touch it, well, that's how it turns on. Meanwhile, it automatically goes to that display which I was showing you. It's a 10-inch touchscreen infotainment system. It's got something known as eco data to tell you how you have been driving, what is the energy impact. Meanwhile, you've got Apple CarPlay, you've got Android Auto connectivity as well. It is slick, but not the slickest of systems. Okay, you've got a web browser, live, valet mode, in-control apps, cameras, and whatnot. Browse 3 here. The best thing here is the fact that you can get into something known as vehicle dimensions. It will tell you what are the dimensions of the car. So I don't have to remember what is the size of the vehicle, because this screen is actually telling me. Then there are 10 color ambient lighting also on this vehicle, which obviously looks kind of cool at night, but in the day you can't see anything. Looks slick. Light is all over the place. So that's about it for the infotainment system. Not really much to talk about, but here they have done smart things in order to reduce the number of buttons. So if I turn on the air conditioning, you see this is the temperature which I have set it at. Now if I want to increase the fan speed, I press this button. Now this actually changes for the fan speed. That's super cool, right? Okay, we'll just shut the air conditioning for a bit. This is the stop start system. This is for traction control, this is for downhill assist, and this is for cruise control. Now this is for ATPC, which is all terrain progress control, which is like the cruise control for off-road situation. Now of course, like, this is to decide the temperature, very premium. However, if I want to get into various drive modes, how do I alter the same? I press this button, now I can decide what drive mode I want to be in. So there's of course eco, there's comfort, there's auto, and as I browse through this, I realize it keeps changing it on the instrument cluster. So this is sand, this is mud ruts, and this is grass, gravel, snow. This is auto terrain response 2 system, very nicely done. I love how, you know, one switch is able to monitor or give you 2 functions. That's really cool. I love the dashboard design. I think it's really very premium. It says Land Rover right here, just in case which car you are in, you forget that. Okay, let's close the sun blind for a moment. Auto dimming inside rear view mirror. It's sort of a frameless treatment, which looks very premium too. Meanwhile, I love the steering mounted audio controls because they actually change according to the function. That's right. So if you get a phone call, this position of the phone will switch to having one on the top with green and one on the bottom with red. You obviously got paddle shifters, plastic key. Let's open the sun blind for the panoramic roof. Now I said panoramic roof, I didn't say panoramic sunroof because this is not a sunroof, unfortunately, because, like, okay, you can call it a sunroof, but this does not open. What? Yeah, this does not open. This is just a glass on the top. It does not open, which is quite shocking. And the seat belts also do not get the height adjust function, which again is a bit surprising to me. Now the audio system is not the higher end one with 14 speakers, which is available on the higher trim. Okay, the audio quality is decent actually. Here you see every time it does that. Let's just get into it. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's play an audio right away. Audio quality is actually quite nice inside this vehicle. Let's get into reverse right away. This is the reverse parking camera. It's got adaptive guidelines too. You see, it's not very clear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the wipers, the rear wipers, and as soon as I use them, see, it's actually cleaning it with that spray which I already showed you. You see, that is the rear wiper. Lot of spray on offer and works brilliantly well. In fact, you can't see the wiper as such. That's how it has been done. Very smartly done. Okay, this is for the parking sensors, which is showing a slash. I don't know for what. It's not working. Probably this is not working, unfortunately. This is the self park function, which is not working on this car right now. So if I press this button, then I can self park the car, automatically it'll steer and all those things. Now this is obviously the control for the wipers. The wipers work really well. Lot of spray on offer. Meanwhile, this is actually the control for the headlights. Obviously everything is automatic here. I love the way the switches have been done, especially the ones on the steering. Obviously it gets cruise control and it doesn't get a full digital screen. The instrument cluster is not full digital, unlike the case in the higher end, and obviously globally also they give a lot more options. Unfortunately that's not available in India. So you've got an analog tachometer, you've got an analog speedometer, and you've got a screen, the multi-information display, which has a lot of information, like it's telling you the odometer, the gear position indicator, and this is what can be browsed through, which will come in a bit. Land Rover logo, this is the fuel meter, and this is the temperature meter, clock, digital speedometer, ambient temperature, and other various aspects it's been telling on the top. So if you want to switch through this, here's this button. You press this button and just see on the bottom right, to be precise, just see on the bottom right here, it's telling you what has been your average speed and what is the fuel economy of the vehicle, how much fuel you have consumed, what is the distance to empty, and various other functions. This is actually for the eco mode, telling you how you have been driving the car as well. So very loaded in that sense. Now if I want to browse through this function, like the multi-information display, I can press this menu button here, and when I press this menu button, I can get into collision avoidance, reverse traffic monitor, lot of data, steering assistance, driving condition monitor, parking notification, and I can browse through vehicle information as well, warnings, tire pressures, and whatnot. I mean, the basic stuff you would expect from a car at this price point. The horn is actually quite nice as such. Now why am I getting outside? I want to show you. Okay, see, I was telling you the door, it shuts completely. You don't even have to take any effort. That's how hard it is. So sometimes you end up fighting with it. You can't see the rear wiper. The rear wiper is hidden. Yeah, rear wiper is hidden, which is the case with almost every Range Rover. Very slick design. I love how the elements have been done on this car. Comes across as really premium, but the dashboard gives you this sporty feel for sure. And the interior feels really nice and well put together with great quality levels. Especially the seats are really very comfy in this vehicle, which comes across as really nice as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to give the right indicator at the moment. And as you see, there's not much to talk about because this car could have a lot more features. But unfortunately, this being the S trim does not have as many features as the SE. I like the screen. I think it's much improved from before. But yes, honestly, I expect better because BMW's iDrive is still the slickest screen, which I personally feel You get a lot of information for sure. There's something known as 4x4i as well, which when you turn on is basically helping you with off-road situation. Do not exceed vehicle limits and capabilities. 4x4 provides information only. Check surroundings and proceed with caution. Yes sir, I understand all this. Off-road information, low traction, launch. Why do you need all this? Let's just drive away right away. Alright, we're all set to go, which means first and foremost we're going to turn off the traction control, which actually works in this car. It was not working in the Discovery Sport. We are into drive mode. Let's get into sport mode for the gearbox. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. Oh my god, rest till 3000 RPM. Wheel spin and off we go. Well, performance is quite slick. This is the D180. It's a 2-liter diesel engine. Actually, the Range Rover Evoque only comes with 4-cylinder engines. Unfortunately, yeah, there's a 3-cylinder also, but we're not going to be talking about the plug-in hybrids today. We're only going to be talking about the 4-cylinder engines. In India, we get 2 engine options. One is the D180 and the other is the P250, which is the petrol model. Now, of course, it's very hard to guess how much power do they actually make. Yeah, I'm just kidding, because D180 stands for 180 horsepower, P250 stands for 250 horsepower, so the petrol is more powerful but has lesser torque at 365 Newton meters. Meanwhile, the diesel of course has more torque at 430 Newton meters, which comes in at 1750 RPM and stays there all the way to 2,500 RPM. So you see, the torque band is not really that wide, specifically when you compare to the petrol, because the petrol has a massive torque band from 1500 RPM to 4000 RPM. In spite of having lesser torque, it has a wider torque band, and of course the petrol is the one to get because it's more exciting to drive. But since you're driving the diesel, we're going to be talking about the diesel engine, the D180. The thing is that it's a very refined engine. It's very smooth, very refined, but gets vocal in the top end. But then in the top end, it doesn't really move as such. It doesn't have the grunt in the top end, so it really doesn't make any sense to take in the top end as such. However, it has got good drivability on offer. A stupendous mid-range. It really feels eager in the mid-range. So it's drivable and it's really punchy in the mid-range. In fact, you get into the throttle, even path throttle, it pulls nicely and then becomes loud and vocal once you get into the top end, which is above 4000 RPM. It redlines all the way to 5000 RPM. You can manually take control of things using the steering mounted paddles, but that's not of much use because it's not going to let you hold on to a gear. It will upshift, without a doubt it will upshift. So here I start using the paddles. There you see it's showing me the number there in the multi-information display which gear I am in, but it's not going to hold on to a gear. Here, yeah, it's actually shifting at around 4200 RPM. That's like Honda territory of upshift for a diesel engine, so it doesn't really have a wide torque band, but the handling is absolutely stupendous because body roll is very well contained and body control is very good on this car. In fact, the ride is on the stiffer side, and that stiffness bodes well in terms of the overall balance of the car. Now it gets a new platform, yes, a new platform, so it's actually longer by around 20 mm in terms of wheelbase. The car is slightly bigger than before, but it uses a new platform. In fact, it gets a new floor pan as well, and it's stiffer than before. It's 17% stiffer, the chassis, than before. So it is premium transverse architecture is what is underpinning this car, same as of course the Land Rover Discovery Sport as well. So you see, what Land Rover has done is that the Evoque and the Discovery Sport are so similar in so many ways now. Even the interior, I mean the center console is different, but I mean they feel very much identical to me. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour takes almost 10 seconds. Yeah, that's kind of on the slower side, but the Evoque distinctly stands out, of course. However, the problem with the Evoque is it's too chintu, it's very compact as such. So yeah, that compactness is something which you have to live with because it doesn't have the size and price ratio right, but then it's not for people who really measure it that way. It's just something which makes a style statement every given moment. And okay, let's do one thing. Let's turn on the lane assist. So lane assist is turned on at the moment, and it really helps in multiple ways, which I'll show you in a bit. Braking performance is stupendous. Brake bite is phenomenal, and the brake feel is also very positive. I love the steering wheel on this car. It has the right balance. It has the right feel. It just weighs up beautifully well. The car is really on the stiffer side at lower speed, so it crashes through bad roads and through the bumps as well. And we are running lower size tires than what is available abroad, because abroad it comes with the option of massive 21-inch wheels as well, and those 21-inch wheels obviously affect the ride quality, but then you also get the option of adaptive suspension, which I believe is of not much use because yeah, ride in comfort mode is good, but then it affects the high-speed stability. This lane keep assist is so freaking brilliant. It works phenomenally well. Look at it. Yeah, it just puts you back into the lane at every given moment, and then it keeps buzzing and says keep your hands on the wheel, because it's like no, you can't have so much fun. Come on, start driving the car. Now this is a 9-speed torque converter automatic gearbox, which is a similar unit which is also in the Jeep Compass and the Discovery Sport. It is actually sourced from ZF. The gearbox is smooth shifting, it's nice, it's refined, but it's not very eager. It fumbles at times. It's like, I don't know which gear I should be in, but here you go. So it's not the fastest in terms of shift. So fumbling actually happens at lower speeds when it gets a gear wrong as such, but happily though you have manual control of things using the paddles, although it doesn't hold on to a gear. You see, it becomes vocal. It becomes vocal in a sporty way. NVH level is absolutely brilliant on this car. It feels so good, silent, lower down, but then gets a little noisy. However, wind noise is well contained, road noise is well contained. It's only the suspension that can be heard over bad roads if you try to go a little fast. Now see, that is a real bad patch of road, which means I have to slow down because of the stiffness on offer. And I don't know why most car makers are going for this stiff setup low down. The ride quality actually becomes very good once you start getting along. It really improves dramatically. The horn is also decent, I would say, but here you see, yeah, that movement is there, although it's very refined a car, and this engine is surprisingly and shockingly very refined. Anyways, onto the gas. Initial lag, and there it pulls nicely and strongly, but there's no sport mode on offer. I mean, it's got these multiple modes with terrain response system too, but there's comfort mode and there's eco mode. If you want to preserve fuel, you can get into eco mode, but I don't think anyone's going to be driving a Evoque with eco mode. That just doesn't make sense. At least it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. 66 litre fuel tank should return a mileage of around 10 to 14 kilometers per litre depending on your driving style and depending where you're driving as well. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, this is the alarm, overspeed alarm. It's like it's a fire alarm. Hear this again, okay? It's like a fire alarm which comes in a commercial establishment when all of a sudden there's fire. It rings like this. Exact replica. Super duper irritating. I hate it. Yeah, braking performance is nice and sure-footed. I love the brakes on this car. They're so positive and so much grip on offer as well. You're in second gear. Alright, here we go. It actually gets into fourth gear for 100 kilometers per hour. That's the reason why it actually slows it down. And the other issue which I find with this car is that the gearing is kind of on the shorter side. It could be a little bit more tall geared to get you faster from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, and needed more drive modes. Now the thing is that in India we always we get the lower power output D180. Okay, globally also get D150, and the top end diesel is the D250, which is staggeringly good. This is fine. I mean, the performance and overall powertrain is okay. It's fun enough, but not like kick in the pants feel. I'm not saying I need a 6-cylinder engine. I'm not saying I need a 8-cylinder engine, but I feel that I need one. However, right now this engine does the job quite well. Only thing is, D250 for this price would have justified the price completely. Now petrol options also globally, there is P200 and there is the P250 which is available in India. There's a P300 as well. So you see, they have given a lot of options globally, but in India unfortunately it doesn't get it. Now of course it's a capable car. It has got 600 mm of water wading capacity, which is staggeringly good. That's a lot of water wading for a car of this size and price. It's more than it's a direct rival, which is the XC40 by considerable amount. Coming through the corner, it is just so beautifully poised and composed. It just feels so good changing lanes because the steering is always having your back. That is how well it is calibrated. And it's obviously 4-wheel drive system, power is channeled to all the wheels, but it's more front biased as such. And because the power delivery is front biased, so many bumps on the road, the power delivery is being front biased, so a little bit of understeer, but it kind of manages it quite well. It actually improves the efficiency by being more front biased than being rear biased, because this is more of soft roader, but it's not really, because it's a Range Rover, so it can do a lot of things. It can actually go through a lot of bad roads. It can do off-roading. Only thing, ground clearance might be a slight issue. It is decent enough ground clearance, but it's not as much as you would expect, and the ride quality is not up to what you would say Range Rover levels, because a Range Rover obviously has absolutely phenomenal ride quality. I'm talking about the Mega Range Rover, the regular Range Rover, the top of the line flagship Range Rover. And here we take a U-turn onto the gas. I love driving this car. I was driving it in the city. I just realized this is a car you should not be driving full throttle because top end is lacking. So you rather work the gearbox. So if like now, let's forget driving flat out with the accelerator pedal and let's work the gearbox, get into higher gear and see how it performs. Third, yeah baby, that's what I was expecting. But that ride becomes so brilliant at higher speeds now. It becomes so fluid and so nice. It's unbelievably good. The ride quality is so good and so nice. Around the corners, yeah, you see a little bit of skidding because of bad road and tarmac. My co-driver was like, stop the car, I'm panicking. Relax, Neha.
I'm not panicking, I was guiding you because that patch of road was not well.
yeah, don't worry, we are well under control. So what you're going to do is let us display the lane keep assist, because it works flawlessly well on this car. I'm surprised how well the lane keep assist works. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in the second lane, and there is where the lane keep assist will play its part. So here we go. Come on, don't disappoint me. Show me what you got. And there you see, it is easily maneuvering, turning along. Yeah, that's my boy. That is the way it's done. Beautiful. It's actually showing you in the instrument cluster that, you know what, left side, right side, whatever, green, red, and all those things. So it gives you a lot of information there. If you've taken a turn without any issue, then it says, you know what, enough is enough of having fun. Hold on to the steering wheel. And you see, we're going right. So there, it pulls me back to the left. Beautiful. I love this lane keep assist. Very well executed on this car. Now, of course, the competition of this car happens to be with the Volvo XC40, which is priced much more aggressively. That's a CBU though. And this car just comes across as very pricey for what it offers. Now, the Volvo is, of course, front wheel drive. This is all wheel drive. This is a Range Rover. The Volvo has more features, and it's bigger also in terms of size. That's surprising. I never expected the Volvo to be bigger, because I thought, yeah, the Evoque should be bigger, but the Volvo is actually bigger. The XC40 is bigger than this car, which is a surprise. The premium you pay is quite a lot for the Range Rover, for mainly four-wheel drive system and the heritage. But you know what? It attracts attention wherever you go. It makes a style statement. That's how beautiful the car is. Honestly, you are paying for the design more than anything here. And in terms of braking performance, I love the brakes. I can keep applying the brakes every moment just to stop and see how beautifully calibrated the brakes are. And little bit of wheel spin. Actually, the tires are so grippy now, you can't have much wheel spin on offer. Anyways, what we have got are 4 variants. So 2 are for the petrol and 2 are for the diesel, and the base is, of course, the petrol. Now they are S and SE are dynamic trims. Yeah, S and SE are the variants on offer. Now the range actually starts from 69 lakhs, goes all the way to 75 lakhs for the top end. This one costs around 71 lakhs or somewhere whereabouts. I'm not too sure about the pricing. I'm just like giving a rough number or rough estimate, but more or less, I mean, we're there more or less, okay, give or take. Now the important part here is that all the prices are told were, of course, on road Mumbai, and that creates a confusion between, of course, the Discovery Sport. We're going to turn off lane keep assist because it keeps pulling me in a lane when I don't want to be pulled. Just see the massively awesome composure. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job with the composure of the vehicle. Yeah, it is so well calibrated suspension. You keep moving along at a faster pace and it just flattens out the ride so beautifully well. That stiffness which you feel at low speeds is tata bye-bye, it's gone. But then when you have to encounter this in the city, you're like, yeah, right, could be better. So it could have been more comfortable for sure. It just doesn't let you wheel spin, because that is how brilliantly well calibrated the whole power delivery, suspension, and of course the grip levels are on this car with wide tires as well. So as I see it, the Range Rover Evoque is an absolute phenomenal. Okay, fire alarm is here. It's an absolute phenomenal car. The only thing is it's very expensive for what it has to offer. Now, of course, if Land Rover had given you a higher trim or more power, then the price could have been justified to a certain extent. But right now, I would just opt for the more practical Discovery Sport, which also has the same engine, the same suspension, the same gearbox, almost a lot of things which are so similar. Then I'm like, I'm paying for style. So either you be stylish or your car be stylish. I mean, if you want to have it both ways, then you have to pay a lot more money, because I think the car is priced at a premium, a much more premium than it should, at a much more premium than it should have been. And obviously the XC40, which I honestly feel is overpriced for a front wheel drive car, seems to appear all of a sudden extreme value for money. I love using the paddles. You can obviously use Triptronic function here as well. Yeah, here we are. We are into 9th gear at the moment. Yeah, that's right. I'm driving in 9th gear at 90 kilometers per hour. Very smooth, very refined, at home, just so silent. And if I prod the accelerator pedal, it downshifts here into 4th, immediately pulls and upshifts at around 4,500 RPM. Now in regular drive mode, you can't feel much of a difference in terms of the way the power is, or rather how the performance is. The difference isn't that dramatic. What the hell is this? It's massive. I want to vlog on this. Anyways, onto the gas. Yeah, baby, this is the baby Range Rover. What a phenomenally stylish car, and they have stayed true to the design language of this beautiful machine by giving it more evolutionary updates, but still it looks like a baby Range Rover Velar. And on that exciting enlightenment or discovery, it's time to end literally discovery, because of course it shares a lot with the Discovery here. And if you like this vlog, you know what you have to do. Give it the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye.